Hi everyone, Richard here. Well, the numbers are in, so I want to talk to you about the first 6 months of this year and what happened in the Toronto Real Estate Board. Now, the reason I'm talking about Toronto, number one, the largest real estate board in Canada, almost 50,000 agents. Now, in all fairness, it takes in a very large geographical area. So it goes out as far as Burlington, out to sort of Oshawa and just slightly past that. And of course, it goes way up north past Newmarket. So this is a very big area. It's not just Toronto proper. But the Toronto Real Estate Board just released the numbers for June. And if you remember, we had our fair housing plan put in place April 21st. So how is it affecting the market? So let's have a look at what's going on. So if we look at January through the end of June, you can see sales January 5,188, went up to 8,000, up to 12,000. Okay, then it went a little bit off, down in April, which is unusual. It usually keeps going, but this is because of the fair housing plan. And then, of course, it's a little lower in May and substantially lower in June. So you can see what's happening here. We were going up, then we started to slide back down. But let's look at listings, okay? 5,578, almost 13,000, over 18,000, close to 20,000. So it's constantly going up. So what that means is what's happening with supply and demand, because remember, supply and demand is what drives prices. Now, I've talked to you before about this. We need about 5 to 6 months of inventory where we have a balanced market. Anything below that is going to be more of a seller's market. Anything above that is going to be more of a buyer's market. So here's your months of inventory. Look at January had 1 month of inventory. You can see almost the same. Look at this, below 1 month of inventory. Now this is the active listings at the end of the month, by the way. So obviously very hot month, multiple offers everywhere, very hot month, multiple offers everywhere. April 21st, new housing plan went in. Look what started to happen to your inventory. It started to rise. Still very good market. And then May, I reported last month, up to 1.8. And then, of course, now we're at 2.5. So you can see what's happening now is our months of inventory is going to start to rise. Now, it's interesting because, in all fairness, 2.5 months is still a great marketplace. But let's look at average sale price. 770, 875, 916, 920, and then what happened? Down 863 and down to 793. So, if our months of inventory is only 2.5, why would the average sale price go down if the market is still a seller's market? Because we lose the very top end of the market, which causes the average sale price to start going down. But in all fairness, if a house is, say, $800,000 in Toronto proper, do you think that house is still going to sell? Of course it is. There's still going to be a lot of activity. Of course there is. So here's the message. The message is July and August, you're going to see your inventory start to go up. This is my opinion. You're going to see sales start to go down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit slower. Your month of inventory is going to start to go up. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and tomorrow the Bank of Canada, is going to talk about an interest rate move. And if you look at the banks have already put some of their rates up in anticipation of this. So again, this is something else mentally that's going to affect the market. So what's going on right now is the uncertainty. So the psychological effect that the public is having. So you're seeing houses come on the market. People are going, I better get on the market. I better take advantage right now because who knows, maybe prices are going to go down. Inventory starts to go up. You got buyers that are going, whoa, I better slow down because maybe prices are going to go down. So you don't have as many buyers. So what happens? Your months of inventory starts to rise. But here's what I want to say. July and August, I think you're going to see more of the same. Months of inventory is going to slide up. The telltale month is going to be September. When September comes along and we look at the numbers at the end of September, that will tell us whether we're going to start to recover from this, if the psychological effect is over, and if people get back to buying and selling real estate. Let's go back to Vancouver. August of last year, same thing happened in Vancouver. Their market is out of control, hot, flying. Yes, the upper market's still struggling a little bit, but the rest of the market's doing just fine. So my message is this. Number one, don't panic. We don't know what's going on yet completely, okay? It'll be September before we know. Number two, there was still 7,974 homes sold. That means people are still buying real estate. Everybody go, oh, the market's changed, nothing's selling. Yes, almost 8,000 home sales. So go out and sell some of those 8,000 homes. The third thing, start counseling your sellers and buyers differently than you were doing before. Now it's going to be very important in terms of list price. You might not be getting multiple offers, so which means you're going to have to price accordingly. Now you got to start to price differently because now you got to look at what's for sale because things are going to stay in the market longer, and start comparing your list price to what's for sale rather than what's sold. Because if you've got 4 other homes for sale that are comparable to yours and you want to be the one to sell, you got to price accordingly. And you got to start to counsel your buyers differently. Is it a good time to buy a house? Of course it's a good time to buy a house. Like, even with a little interest rate increase, it's still like, I'm going, wow, I remember my first house was 17.75%. But some of us haven't seen that. We don't remember that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, economically, right now in Ontario, Canada really, everything is good, okay? All the markers are good. All we're dealing with right now is a little bit of uncertainty, the psychological effect, because the government has put in that 16-point plan. So everybody is trying to figure out what's going on. So bottom line, get out there. You can still have a great July, a great August. People are still going to buy and they're still going to sell. Just get in the middle of the buyer and the seller and you start doing deals, okay? Don't focus on the drama. Focus on being productive, and I'll talk to you when we have the report that comes out in July. And remember, no matter what's going on, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.